Hi everyone, I'm Oliver from Lentus.com, and you've asked a lot for a video editing tutorial in Blender, so here it is. On it, we'll see the basics of editing video in Blender, like cutting strips, trimming, soft and hard cuts, speed control, creating transitions, transforms, color corrections, and using adjustment layers. I hope you find it useful, so let's dive into it. So of course, the first step we need to take is to set up Blender for video editing. And how to do this? Well, we need to just go here and open up the video sequence editor. So this is the video sequencer, and well, it happens that now we are only watching the strips editor. Here we have different rows. As you can see, these work as layers. So the strips we add in the bottom will be behind, and the ones we add at the top will be in front of the video. All right, so we can use this to add like text or watermarks or whatever to our video. Now, we also need to see what we are doing, all right, like a video preview. So here in these three buttons here, you can see that now we are only watching the strips editor, but then we can watch here a full screen video preview, and here it mixes the strips and the video editor. Now, it happens that there is a little bug. When you see this tutorial, it's probably already solved, but it happens that when you go here, then you try to jump again to this one, which should split the window and show a video preview on the top, all right, and it won't work. It just shows the strip view, all right, so keep that in mind. If you go to this before you press this one, it works, all right, so, but there is no problem with this, because what I actually usually do is to split this view by left clicking and dragging from here. And here I select a full video preview. All right, so this way we can very easily resize stuff, and we have this view here. It's a different view, so it's more easier for me. Okay, other things that you can do is to press Shift and left click drag here in that left corner of that window, and you can see that we duplicated the window. So this could allow you to use a full screen video preview on the other monitor, on a second monitor if you have it, right? Some video editor softwares allow you to do this, and you can do this as well with Blender. So before we start explaining the navigation in these two views, we need something to actually view. So let's add a movie here. We can press Shift A in the strip editor, and we see here that we can add a scene, all right, because we can add here a 3D view, all right. So when we render, it renders the 3D view from Blender, all right. We can add clips if we have loaded something in the clip editor. We have masks, movie, image, sound, and effect strip, right. The sound is very useful when you want, for example, to match an animation in 3D with sound or a song, for example. So you can just load the sound here, and then when you press play, you will listen to it even if you are working in the 3D view. So it's very useful. I've used it a lot of times. All right, now with this, you can just go here and select a movie from the file browser, and here from the image, it works the same way, right? What I'm going to do though is to just drag it from the folder explorer from the OS. So let's just drag and drop it here. And as you can see, we already have our strip going on here. So let's just drag this to the first. All right, you can drag it, this strip, with right mouse button. All right, so as you can see, if we drag the cursor, we already have here our video, right? This is an MP4 file, and yep. So if we press Alt A or we press down here the play button, you can see how we can already preview the video. Now, the navigation. With middle mouse button, we can pan around, right? Because here we probably end up with a lot of strips and a long duration in the video. All right, so we need to pan and zoom with the scroll wheel, all right? This will zoom in the time. And with control and middle mouse button and drag, we can just zoom in and out the layers. All right, here in the video preview, it works exactly the same. With middle mouse button, we can just pan the view All right, and with the scroll wheel, we can zoom in and out. So maybe we want to check some detail in the video, so we can do it with these controls. With control and middle mouse button, you can also zoom in and out from the video preview. All right, so this is cool. So as you can see, this video, the cursor goes very slowly to the subscribe button. Then it pauses a little bit there, and then it clicks the button. All right, this is cool for the purpose it was recorded, all right, which is my YouTube BlendTuts channel trailer. There's a lot of words there. And you can subscribe, by the way. This is subliminal stuff. All right, and it's very slow. And yeah, for the purpose of the trailer, it worked well. But right now, let's pretend that I want to speed this up a lot. So we are going to work with this strip and you know, learn how to cut it and all that, so we can make this faster. So now let's see what trimming is. Trimming is one of the most used things in video editing. Trimming is when you have a video like this, for example, which is let's say long, but we only want to use a portion of it. So what we can do here is to just go here, and you can see that we have two arrows at the beginning and at the end of the video. If we right click on it and drag, all right, now we are only using this portion of the video. These lines here inform us that the actual video goes up to that point. All right, so we can untrim, all right, or extend the frame until that point. Once we pass that point, you can see that this is transparent, which means that there's no video at all. Well, we have no, all right, we can drag it like this. You can see how we don't have any video at all there. All right, but here, now here we don't see any video because it's being trimmed, but the actual video still exists. Now we have two things that we can do, which is cutting videos. And for cutting them or split a strip, we have the soft cut and the hard cut. The soft one does this, all right? We can do it by selecting a strip, putting the cursor where we want to cut, and press K, like the knife tool, all right, in the 3D view. And as you can see, it's cut our strip, all right? But each one of them still have the actual video after and before. All right, this is a soft cut, which actually trims the video up to that point. Now we have the hard cut, and the hard cut, as you will see now, is just exactly the same, but instead of pressing K, we press Shift K. As you can see now, this is a hard cut because before this point, there is nothing in the video. All right, it's like if we just imported a new video that is only this duration. All right. Of course, after it, we have it because the cut was performed at this point, all right, in the middle of these two guys. And this one, because of the same reason, doesn't have an out portion of the video. It ends right here. So this is the trimming, soft cut, and hard cut. With this, you can already start editing your videos. But let's see other stuff. For that, I'm going to reload this file, like 02, okay. Reload this one. And we are going to do a little exercise with this video to let you know how the basic editing tools work. All right, so here we have this video. Let's start at this point. And as we can see, what we have in this video is a very slowly moving cursor towards the subscribe button. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And then after a long pause, it presses the button. This made sense for the original video for which I recorded it. But let's pretend that for the project we are working in, we need this to be really fast. All right, so first what we have to do is to identify where the pause starts and ends, because we want to remove the pause from the video. So let's go ahead and we can scrub through frames with left and right arrows in the keyboard. So let's find out where it stops moving. So in this frame, it stops moving. So we press K, and now we have this video ends where the pause starts. Now we have the second part of the video. Let's now find where it clicks the button. So as you can see here, the button is clicked and here is not clicked yet. So let's just pick this and drag it to trim this video to start going on where this is pressed. So now we can just right click and drag. And when the strip gets red, it's because we are overlapping it with another strip. This is cool because when we drop it, it will automatically adjust to start where the previous strip ends. All right, so that is cool. So as you can see now, the cursor moves very slowly towards the subscribe button and automatically, there is no pause, automatically clicks the button. That's it. Okay, so now this is cooler than the other version and much faster, but we want this movement to be a lot faster as well. So let's select this strip, let's press Shift A, and let's add an effect strip. And let's add a speed control. And we have several options here, and we can access to these options in the pressing N in the properties view here. And here you can see several options of the effect strip, which is this multiply speed. But by default, this option here is activated, which is a stretch to input strip length. This means that it will fit the length of this strip, and if we decrease it, it will accelerate the video. All right, so let's decrease it a lot, like this, to make it much faster, and then move this one to this point. Let's go to the beginning of the video, press Alt-A, and there you can see how it's now much faster, and then it clicks the button automatically when it arrives. So this is a very quick example on how you can use this video editor. Now let's do another exercise. One of the things that I use Blender Sequence Editor the most is to convert videos to image sequences and image sequences to videos. So let's see how to add image sequences here in Blender. We press Shift A, Image, all right? And from here, I just have several folders, and each one of them I have an image sequence. You need to keep in mind that in the folder, you have only the image sequence itself. This way, you can press A to select everything in the folder, which are in this case all the images from the image sequence, add image strip, and as you can see, now we have here loaded the image sequence. Now let's place the cursor with leaving a little gap here because we are going to see how to create transitions. So let's press Shift A and load another one. Let's go to the second one here, press A to select all of them, add image strip, and there we have another one. So you can see how we have different image sequences going on. What happens now is that the animation ends right here. You can see how it goes to the start again. So we have different options to increase the amount of frames that we can see. One of the ways is by going here to the end frame and setting it to the frame we want it to end. All right, we can just drag here and we can see how this ends like around frame 364. We can copy and paste this value here with Control C and Control V, or we can just enter here and write down the number in which we want our animation to end. Another option is go to the timeline, and with the cursor in the timeline, we can press E. So the timeline will take the position of the cursor and set the end frame to that one. And we can do the same with the start frame, pressing S. So you can see how we can control the start point and the ending point. But I'm going to do something which is the way in the sequence editor, which is pressing P and dragging a box selection of the frame range that we want to reproduce. There we go. And there we are right now. As you can see, this dark gray is areas that aren't being reproduced. Okay, so let's see how to create a transition here. We select both of the strips, pressing Shift and Shift A, effect strip, and the first ones, like these ones, right? Add, subtract, alpha over, alpha under. All these are different transition types, all right? The normal one is the cross, which is like a crossfade. And as you can see, it creates here an object that fills the gap, right? A new strip. This strip is the crossfade. And if we increase the zooming, we can see how this is called cross 11. If we go to the end view, here we can see how, we can change its name like crossfade or transition. That's right. Okay. So this number 11 is the number of frames that this transition is going on. So as you can see, from 197 until 208. All right, if we increase this, now if we move the strips, the transition will keep working. Now it's 21 frames long. What happens is, as you can see, if we press play, it has some kind of a weird effect because it's doing the transition between the last frame of this video and the first frame of this one, but they are not moving, all right? So they are like frozen. The reason is that the video ends at this point and the second video starts at this point. So Blender extends the last and first frame to create the transition. What we can do to solve this is to just trim this video. So we have here a few frames to, in which the video is not in the strip, but it still exists. So as you can see, the first video keeps moving while the second one, the first frame of the second one, keeps being frozen. We can do the same with this one to give here a little space and now just overlap these in and out sections. Here you have how it works. All right, this is the out section of the first video and this is the in section of the second video. So now if we press play here, you can see how the transition works nicely. And we can just extend it even more, but if we extend it more than the actual frames that exist from the video, Blender will freeze that frames, all right? So just keep that in mind. So let's add a new image sequence to test more things. Let's go here, add another image sequence like the third one. Let's actually start adding more already. The fourth one and the fifth one. All right. Now I want this to be the end frame. So I go to the timeline with the cursor and press E. So now as you can see, this is the video. This is a part of the video I created for the YouTube channel, as I already said like a dozen of times. All right, but here you can see how you can edit a video like this. All right, and you can add a sound and everything. All right, so let's say that I want to zoom in this video. So what I can do is just to go here to this strip and select it, press Shift A, Effect to Strip, and I can put a transform on it. There we have a transform in the next layer. So now what it means is that I can go to this transform and I can just try to change here the position and the scale. Let's pick uniform scale. So the X and Y axis scale at the same time. And we can make it like a lot bigger. As you can see now, the video is bigger. Or we can even change its position in X and Y if we want to focus the video into a different area. All right, there you have it. If we delete it, as you can see, we go back to the normal video. All right, other things is that you can apply color correction and other effects to a strip. Right, you can go to here with a strip, add a strip modifier, and we can add, for example, curves. Right, so here we have curves, and we can add another. This works like the modifiers in Blender, the usual modifiers. You can add another curves modifier under this one to modify the result of this one. So we can add a lot of contrast or a lot of brightness, as you can see. All right, and make it darker, or maybe make it bluish or more reddish orange or whatever. As you can see now, this one is different. All right, so let's say that you recorded two different videos, but one of them looks really, really bright. So you can just darken it here to make the two of them fit together. All right, in this case, I will just delete this one because it makes no sense to have it like that. But I'm going to show you how to use color correction as an adjustment layer. So you create an effect strip, adjustment layer, And now you can see how we can control the length of the adjustment layer. And this adjustment layer, what it has is that we can add strip modifiers to it, like curves, for example. And we can just add like a lot of contrast. And as you can see, here we have more contrast in all the strips that are, below it. So as you can see, the same strip here is normal, but after we pass under the adjustment layer, it becomes with a lot of contrast. So this is a very nice way to apply a color correction to a lot of videos, to a lot of strips at the same time. If you want to apply it to the whole video, you just do this, all right? And as you can see, from there, we have already a more, all right, here it just went wrong, because here we should see this video, not this one, but it's just a fail of the, sometimes the Blender editor have something strange like that, it kind of tries to load different videos and whatever, so you can just refresh the sequencer and sometimes it's solved by that, as you can see. Okay, so now we can see that we have a lot of contrast at that point. Here we saw the transition with all that. All right, so we can just change stuff like that with an adjustment layer. Now, of course, we probably don't want to go, let's refresh the sequencer again, pass with that lot of contrast from the normal one to the lot of contrast just suddenly. So this is nice because what we can do is to control, in this the options of each strip. We have things like the opacity. All right, so we can just go and put the opacity at 0. And just with the cursor on top of that opacity value, we press I in the keyboard to create a keyframe. And we can go like this here, put it at 1, and I again to create another keyframe. As you can see here in the timeline, we set the keyframes. And if you go to the dope sheet editor or to the to the curves editor, the graph editor, I think it's called now. The graph editor, exactly. So if you go there, you can control how, that keyframes duration, or you can control even the interpolation of them, right? To make it slower, faster, or linear, smooth, So as you can see now, the effect of contrast grows progressively. Same things apply with any other strip, all right? For erasing strips, you can just select them and press X to delete them. There is something that I experienced lately, and is that with MP4 videos, all right, with image sequences, I don't know if it happens. I won't try now because I don't want to mess the tutorial again. But with MP4 videos, it happens that if you try to delete them like this, Blender will crash. All right, there's something that they need to solve, or I don't know if it's a problem of the format of the video I was using, but well, anyway, it's not comfortable. But we are going to add an effect strip, and let's add a transform one. Right, you see that you have a lot of effect strips. You can try them all. And here we have a transform, and as you can see, let me check. Okay, position and scaling. All right, so let's say that I want to zoom in, but I want to zoom in progressively. So I can just set a keyframe here, just go forward in the video, scale it a lot, and press Y again. And I can even go ahead and press I and I here in the X and Y positions. And when it's zoomed, see here it's already zoomed. So maybe I can place the position and all that to focus in this image, for example, and add another keyframes. So now as you can see, the video zooms in just as we wanted. So this is a nice way to create fade-ins, fade-outs, or applying effects smoothly, a lot of things. Okay, so now for finishing this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add a watermark to your video. So it's this will help you understand how layers work, and yeah, also how to add an image to use it as a watermark. So let's add an image, and I'm going to do it by dragging it from the folder in my system. So let's just drop it there, and there you have it. All right, as you can see, not very useful yet. We need to tweak it. All right, so the first thing we need to do, here we have, as you can see, a lot of options from this strip. Let's make this, the video preview smaller and this bigger because we need to navigate through these options. All right, so here if we activate image offset, it will keep the aspect ratio, all right, because as you can see here, it's like, when we don't activate that option, it's not keeping the aspect ratio. This is a square image and it's adapting to the render size. All right, so this is not exactly what we want. So just do this and it will keep the aspect ratio. Now, there is another thing that we need to do, and it's here in the alpha mode, we need the pre-multiplied. I mean, this should work exactly the same, all right, but the pre-multiplied usually works better when we have gradients overall. This is not the case, but just keep that in mind. And now here in the blend, we have the cross, but as we can see, we are displaying the blend tutorial logo here, but we are not seeing the video which is in the background. So we need to change the blending mode to alpha over, right? The alpha over will pick the alpha of this image and use it to display the video under it. So now we have the Blentus logo here, but we want to put it under here, all right? And we could just go here to the image offset and move it around, but this is kind of difficult because we can't actually scale it from here, as far as I know. So what we should do is to Shift A, add a transition, a transform, sorry. So now we have a transform. Now the transform is acting as a duplicate of this original one. Down here, it didn't matter because the video is covering the full screen, so we don't see what is behind. But in this case, it does matter because we have like two images with, with alpha that allows to see what is behind them. So now let me show you how, if instead of replace, we add a, let me check, alpha over, you can see that we have the nice logo there. But now with this transform adjustment layer, we can just move it and scale it, right? Put it something like that, should be okay, and move it, and you can see how the original one stays there. Okay, so let's move the watermark where we want it, and the original one, let's go to it, and we can put the opacity at 0 or just disable it with this one. Other thing that we can do, keep in mind that if you click this lock, that strips gets locked and you can't move it or select it or anything. All right, so that is useful when you want something to be fixed and not change it accidentally. All right, so now we can select this, and as you can see, let's make this now bigger. Right, keep this here because I want to animate now the opacity. So as you can see, we already have a nice watermark for our video, which is displaying all on the video. But I want it to appear progressively. So let's go to 0 in opacity, press I to animate it. Let's go right here and activate it, but just at 0.5, for example, 0.5, because I don't want it to be really strong because it's a watermark. It doesn't need to be very destructive. So as you can see now, the watermark starts appearing there and it keeps being there for the rest of the video. This is exactly what we need. We could animate the fade out in reverse that we just did, so the logo starts fading out at the end of the video. But well, this is the basics of Blender editing. As you can see, this is on top of everything because we put this layer on top of the other ones, right? So we are seeing all these ones behind it, right? We could, keep adding more and more and more over it. Also, there is something that I won't show it in this video because this was pretended to be just a basic introduction to the video sequence editor, but you can select, let me check, you can select a strip. All right, and just go down here, and here you have the proxy timecode. If you activate it, here you can see how you can select the percent of the images that you want to create. Let's go here. A proxy is a video of lower resolution that replaces the original one. This is because, as you can see here, the video plays a little laggy and slow because it has to load large image sequences with big resolutions. So what you can do is to create a 25% size image, and this image will be replacing these ones as you work. So when you work, Blender will load them easier, and then when you render, you can display again the 100% ones. All right, so you can create a 25% image, 50%, 75%, or whatever. You can select a custom directory to save or to load that images, and then once you created them, you can go here to the view settings, and here in the proxy render size, right there you have it. You can select the 25%, 50%. So every strips that has any proxy created will use this size. All right. I didn't want to explain that, and I won't do it. All right, but it's almost clear what you have to do. All right. So okay. So this is everything. I hope you learned something, and see you soon in the next tutorial. And make sure to check out the Blender quick tips that I'm creating lately, all right, because they are kind of useful for even if you are an advanced user. Maybe you want to check it out because I may save some little trick that probably you don't know, and if for all the tips that I do, just one helps you out, I'm fine with it. All right, so see you soon in the next tutorial, and happy blending.